Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Art of Tuning In podcast. I'm Maria Furlano. Great to have you here. This is episode 90, and we are going to be talking about psychic protection, psychic defense. What does it mean? Do we need it? All of that stuff. And I'm so excited to dive in with you on this topic because it is actually one of my favorite things to teach, favorite things to explore. I've seen so many changes in myself when I began to do healing work, when I began to do really intuitive work with people. So many changes for my own health and vitality by understanding psychic defense and psychic protection. I've seen so many changes in my students. So, obviously, as you can tell, I am someone who is absolutely for understanding psychic protection, and there are lots of ways to do it. And so today I just want to break those things down for you, and I hope that you get a lot from this topic today. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for finding this podcast. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Maria Furlano. I'm a physician of Chinese medicine, a doctor of medical Qigong, and I'm a spiritual medium. I've been teaching the energetic arts for over 25 years. I just love it. And you can learn all about my programs, my private sessions, everything that I offer on my website at theartoftuningin.com. Obviously, it is also linked below. If you have not joined Holding Space yet, which is my free weekly live meditation offering, please go over to theartoftuningin.com and look for Holding Space and register. It is free, like I said, but you get access to the recordings of our live gatherings. And there are so many in there now, and people are using them to deal with anxiety and stress and overwhelm, and just to stay healthy, just to stay balanced. There's a variety of different things, different topics that we focus on, and I'd love for you to check it out. So, psychic protection, what does it mean? When we want to tune in energetically, intuitively, psychically, we want to make sure that we are tuning into what we know is aligned with our highest well-being. And psychic protection, when we break it down to its core, is conscious awareness. That's all it is. It's very important that as we're tuning in to different vibrations, that we understand that there's always a mixture of energies around. When I'm teaching energetic protection, I use this example a lot with my students. You live in a house or an apartment or some kind of dwelling. And on that dwelling, most likely you have a front door that has a lock on it. You most likely have windows that lock. And we put those locks on those doors and windows because we want to keep away anyone who doesn't have our highest well-being at heart. We are creating our own sacred space. And in that sacred space, we allow in who we want to visit and we keep out who we don't. It is exactly the same thing with spirit, that we are tuning in to the highest frequencies that are for our highest well-being. That as we allow ourselves to let go, to surrender, to be open to receive, that we want that receiving to be at the highest frequency. We don't want to tune in to different frequencies just willy-nilly and say, okay, whatever's out there, come on into my house, come on into my spiritual, my psychic center, just come on. We don't want that, because all kinds of things will show up. And some of those things will not be of the highest integrity, of the highest vibration for yourself. Just like, unfortunately, not every single person in the world has the highest integrity and has your highest well-being at heart. It's the same in our energetic world. There are all kinds of frequencies with all kinds of focuses. So having the conscious awareness means you take the time to set your sacred space. And when I say that, I mean energetically a sacred space. A lot of people think about setting a sacred space in a home or room, and it's a beautiful space that we love to be in, that we feel great in. I'm talking about setting a sacred space for yourself energetically, psychically, as you tune in. You allow yourself to take time to be in your sacred energy, your alignment. And there's lots of ways to do that. I teach medical Qigong, so we learn all about alignment. We learn all about tuning in, but there's lots of traditions for that, for meditation, yoga, whatever it is that you currently do. You set your alignment, you root into the earth, you expand yourself to the universe, you breathe into your belly, you get conscious within yourself. It's very, very important. Before you begin to tune in to higher vibrations, it's very important that you are fully present within your body, that you are fully present and grounded within yourself, that you are rooted, that you are breathing, that you are clear. It's very important that you're not exhausted. It's very important that you're not hungry. It's very important that you're in a healthy state. So that's another kind of side note about psychic protection. Psychic protection also becomes very strong the stronger we are, the healthier we are, the more rested we are. The hydration that we have in our body is very important. Our mindset is very important. Our emotional well-being is very important. If we're very upset, if we're angry, if we're scared, if we're tired, if we're hungry, if we're not nourishing our bodies well, if we're not in good health, holding yourself in alignment and tuning in to frequencies that really support you are going to be difficult, more difficult than if you're very healthy, because there is a system when you begin to align your energy and you begin to root into the earth, and you have to hold your vibration in a certain frequency to reach frequencies that you want to reach. The stronger you are physically, the easier that is. So, a rule of thumb, for example, is not to meditate or channel when you are really tired, that you rest, not to do these things when you're really hungry. Go nourish yourself. Make sure you have enough hydration, because this kind of work depletes that. So you need to be filling yourself. You need to be nourishing yourself. That's really, really important. If you don't have the basis of good health and good self-care, you're not going to be able to be as psychically protected as you want to be. Conscious awareness goes into everything in your life. It goes into physical health. It goes into how you nourish yourself, how you rest, how you talk to yourself, how you feel. If you're emotionally out of sorts, that all has to be cleared first and relaxed before you can center and ground and then tune in to the highest frequencies for the wellness of yourself. So, conscious awareness is a physical thing as well. It's you. And conscious awareness is also what we tune into psychically. So, psychic protection equals conscious awareness. Okay. So, that's number one. And conscious awareness on all levels of how you physically take care of yourself, because as I always say, we're here in a physical body on a physical planet on a dense vibration, and we must take care of ourselves. That's so important. And then we are able also to access higher and different realms, different frequencies, and tune into different things. But we're physical and we're holding a physical vibration, and that physical vibration needs to be strong and it needs to be healthy. So it's very important that before you begin to tune in, that you raise your vibration. And how do you do that? We always talk about raising our vibration. Well, raising a vibration is also about conscious awareness. So, conscious awareness of your vibration just simply means, where am I vibrating? Am I very low on a vibration scale, meaning that I'm very sad, I'm very tired? You know, it can be physical too, tired, hungry, thirsty. It can be emotional. Am I angry? Am I scared? Am I fearful? Those emotions really bring down our vibration. Okay, so let's say, yes, I'm well rested, I'm well fed, I'm well nourished, I'm well hydrated, and I am in a more balanced state of emotion. You don't have to be the happiest of all, but you want to be in a balanced state of emotion, meaning that you feel easy, that things are neutral, because you want to be able to move yourself into as neutral an energetic state as you can as you tune in. And then you set your intention. So there's lots of techniques for energetic protection, and there's lots of things that you can learn. But right now, you just want to set your intention. You want to move into sacred space with yourself. You want to breathe, you want to ground, and you want to set your intention. Right now, I'm tuning in to the highest vibrations, and only the highest vibrations of love and light, and those frequencies that have my highest well being in their hearts and who serve the highest well being shall be allowed to communicate with me, and I with them. You will find your own way of doing this, but the intent needs to be clear. And the clearer you are, you will find that you'll actually be able to tune in to different frequencies more easily and receive information more easily. You can sense a very high, happy, loving, kind vibration. And you need to learn to do that. Part of the training that I teach people is how to sense the different vibrational states. You usually know what feels right to you, and you can feel a sense in your body. Some people see, hear, right? Touch, taste, smell. Like we know those different senses. But sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. And sometimes energy that is not of the greatest, highest light can confuse us a bit. So when you notice that something might be a little bit off, or that what you're sensing isn't really what you want to sense, again, conscious awareness, right? Energetic protection is conscious awareness. And it is your choice of whatever it is that you decide to mingle with, just like out in the world. It's your choice whether you unlock your front door and let people come in. You are inviting them in. So all you do is you disinvite them from your space. If you are not of the highest frequency of love and light, and you do not serve the highest frequency of love and light, you are not welcome here, and you must leave now. It's very simple, but you must believe it, and you must have the clarity to set that intention. So the conscious awareness to notice what's going on, to be aware, and to be able to state with firmness and authority who you want in your sacred space and who you don't. Okay, so that's energetic protection. So much awareness is involved in the energetic protection. And a lot of times, the reason why people don't have the awareness is simply because they don't set themselves up really well to begin with. They just kind of open themselves up and say, I just want to connect so badly to a frequency or to my guides or to something out there to give me information, that they don't understand that it is very, very important to have very high integrity with what it is you communicate with. And when we open ourselves up like that, then it's much harder to scramble, right? It's like letting all these people in your house and then realizing, oh my goodness, I don't want these people in my house, and you have to get them out. So we're avoiding that. We're having conscious awareness. We're setting our intention. We're setting the guest list, who's invited and who isn't invited. So I want to talk to you about another aspect of psychic protection that you can have in your day. So not only when you're sitting and meditating and you want to go into this space and you want to receive information from these higher frequencies, but during your day. And this would be more along the topic of psychic defense. So as we move through our life, all of our senses are activated, right? We are an antenna of energy. And this antenna that we have within us, all around us, is constantly picking up information. And that information is being translated to us, to our system, however it is that you translate this kind of unseen information. Some of you feel very deeply. That's called being very empathic. Some of you hear things. Some of you see visions or colors or symbols. Some of you just know, it just comes in as a knowing. Some of you smell, some of you taste. So all of these senses, you can have all of them activated, but they can also all work on different levels. There's no right or wrong. It's however your antenna receives and translates that information for you. And we get better and better and better at that the more we practice it and the more we acknowledge it and understand it. This antenna that we have is constantly picking up information because we live in a world where there's lots of people and lots of activities going on, and there's lots of thoughts being projected in our world, and there is a consciousness in our world. There is a group consciousness of our world. For example, let's say there is something that happens that creates a tremendous amount of fear in the world. There is a group consciousness that may be experiencing that fear more than another group, depending on location, environment, whatever it is. But we live on a planet where we are all connected, consciously connected. And through consciousness, we can pick up information that's happening. So sometimes, if there's a situation, for example, like I was saying, where there's a lot of fear that's created, you might not be in that situation, but you may all of a sudden be sensing or feeling fear. You might all of a sudden be feeling it in yourself and not understanding where it's coming from. And you may be picking up a consciousness, a group consciousness, an event, something you might not even know about. Or you might know about something, and because you know about that event, you're tuned into it and you're actually receiving a lot of that emotional energy from that event. When that happens, you can get overwhelmed intuitively with your psychic senses. Your psychic senses can become activated to such a way that it almost feels like your nervous system is on extra overload. You feel very sensitive. Sometimes, for some people, it almost feels like all of their nerves inside of their body are on the outside of their body. And they can become very emotionally sensitive and also very physically sensitive. This is the type of example where we need to move into psychic defense. So, psychic defense is often talked about in very negative ways where somebody is projecting something at you and you need to defend that. And that's true. I don't go against that at all. That does happen. Somebody can be projecting a certain emotion at you or a very strong thought pattern, and the energy goes out, and you need to be able to psychically defend that. But in our world, what we're mostly dealing with now is a group consciousness of energy. And so, in order to give you some offering of help that you can do immediately, I want to bring up this example of something happening in the world and you picking up on those feelings, specifically fear, anger, worry, hate, jealousy, whatever it is, anxiety, overwhelm. It can be any emotion at all. As these emotions, these vibrations, frequencies, every emotion has a different frequency, and these are just things that are vibrating like waves that are coming at you. As you're picking them up, the first thing you want to do is you do want to determine, is this mine or is this something else? And sometimes you know exactly what it is, and sometimes you don't know what it is. And that's okay. You don't have to figure out what it is. In fact, it's better if you simply determine, this is mine, this is somebody else's. And when you determine, okay, this is mine, then of course you want to go through the steps of clearing. You want to go through the steps of releasing. You want to go through the steps of healing. Maybe you need to get support from someone else. But when you pick up something and you say, this is not mine, I don't know what it is, but this is not mine, but I'm feeling it strongly, or I'm sensing it strongly. Sensing the energy that's coming in, what do you want to do with it? Well, a lot of times you just say, okay, I let this go. I send love and light to this situation. and you see yourself radiate that love and light out to the situation, just like a prayer, and allow it to go out. And some people see colors, some people will hear music, some people will see a vibration like a wave. But whatever it is, make it very clear for yourself and send it out to what you are sensing and transform it into love and light. So if you're feeling a lot of fear, you're going to transform it into safety, security, love, peace, the support that they need. Okay. And you do it in a way that it's done. It's not, oh, I'm so sorry for you. I wish you had this. No, it's, I see the energy come in. I transform that energy into love and light, and I send it back and I let it go. If you begin to feel that you are being overwhelmed with energy, you're just picking up everything, there's something going on and it just won't stop. This is where we need to move into that alignment and have psychic defense, meaning that we move back into our alignment, we root into the earth, we breathe into our belly, we connect into the universe, and we build a beautiful energetic bubble around ourselves where we breathe from the inside of our body and we radiate our energy big. When we feel scared or when we feel like we're being attacked, our natural energetic movement might be to contract, to hide. When we want to psychically fortify our energy, protect ourselves, we want that energy to come from inside, from a very aligned and loving place, which is why we must align ourselves first, rooting into the earth, breathing, connecting the universe, so that from us radiates our true essence all the way out in all directions, front, back, behind, above, below. This creates this beautiful energetic bubble around us. It creates this beautiful energetic emergence around us, and it creates a psychic defense. Very important, because if we feel bombarded, the last thing that we want to do is push back. We don't want to push back. We don't want to also contract and hide. We want to radiate out. Something that I always share with my students and with my clients is that you want to practice these things before you need them. You don't want to listen to this podcast and then all of a sudden something happens and you're feeling overwhelmed. And then it's like, oh, wait, what did Dr. Maria said? Let me go and watch that podcast and let me radiate these things out. No, you want to practice regularly, allowing yourself to align your energy. And if you join Holding Space, it's free. We do this every week. Allow yourself to align your energy and practice tuning in so that you get to this aligned space and it becomes natural for you. It needs to become like a muscle memory. It needs to be so normal for you to be able to get yourself into alignment that you can do it at will. And when you can do that, when things begin to come in, you won't have this hesitant reaction. If you do that, if you practice that, if that becomes second nature for you, when you pick up things, when there is something that's happening in the world, when there is something happening in your family, when there is something that's happening with you, you won't begin to contract and you won't begin to try to block, but instead you will understand, I'm going to go in, tap into that essence that is mine, knowing that I'm supported by the earth, knowing that I'm connected to the universe. I'm going to breathe more deeply than I've ever breathed before. And I'm going to radiate out who I am. And as you allow that to take shape around you, that holds your frequency in a new place and it protects you. It allows the noise, all of that energetic noise outside of you, to be held at bay. Because again, your intention commands it. So your conscious awareness commands it because you're used to practicing how to align your energy, how to tune in, and how to create the intention of what it exactly is that you want, how you want to feel, how do you want your energy to respond. That brings you into a completely different sense of empowerment. If you are someone who is very energetically sensitive, you pick up energy. This is the first thing that you want to be doing every single day. You want to tune in and breathe, get yourself aligned, practice building your intention and practice radiating out from yourself your energy and see, feel, sense, know that that energy is taking form all around you. And that is your energy, and you are holding your energy in place like this magnificent bubble. So when I do it, what I see is amazing golden light. And it doesn't have to be golden light for you. This is just something that resonates with me. It could be this amazing purple light. It could be white light. It could be anything. And sometimes it does change for me. But recently, when I've been doing this, it's been this amazing golden light that has all these beautiful sparkles in it. And it starts from internally in my center. And I breathe and I allow it to build. And then as it moves through my body so beautifully, I see this beautiful golden light expand so that by the time I have it all the way around me, it is this shell of beautiful moving light. This is another thing that I think sometimes people may get a little bit confused when people tell people to put a bubble around them. Energy is always moving. So it's not like I put this bubble around me and it's like a shell that never moves and it's blocked and it's, has to stay there. Energy is flowing, it's moving, it's vibrating, it's oscillating. And that is what you're bringing out around you because your energy and this beautiful energy bubble that you create around you is connected to you. However, you're feeling will influence the frequency of the energy that's radiating from you. So let's say that you're doing this practice and you have it in the morning and you feel great and you're moving through your day and you hear about something that is hard, that is not great. You're not happy. Maybe it makes you angry, maybe it makes you sad, whatever it is, or you see something or you find out whatever it is, right? It's something that isn't great. Whatever emotion gets kicked up in you will kick out into your energy bubble, will kick out into your energy. And whatever frequency you were at when you had a very high frequency will shift a bit. It will probably lower a little bit because different emotions bring about different frequencies within us. And some are very high, fast moving, wonderful emotions and frequencies. And some emotions are very dense and they're lower vibrations and they bring us down. Okay, that makes sense. So when that happens, it's not that we've lost the vibrancy of our bubble, but we move into conscious awareness, right? Which is energetic protection. And as we consciously recognize, okay, I understand how I'm feeling. I understand how that information is affecting me in this moment. I'm going to deal with that information and I'm going to deal with how I feel about it, not ignore it, not shove it down, because then we are not dealing with what we need to deal with and we can't elevate our frequency. And so you deal with it, you do what you need to do, and you clear your energy. And of course, this is all things that I teach. You clear your energy and you go back inside and you allow that vibration to radiate out again. So it's not like you just set your vibration once and you're done. Energetic protection and being consciously aware is something that we do all throughout the day, all throughout the night. We're aware. It's being consciously aware of how you're feeling. It's being consciously aware of what you're picking up and not being bombarded and overwhelmed by what you're picking up, because you're consciously choosing in every moment how you're going to react and respond to that energy and how your frequency is going to hold itself. How do you want to feel? But it doesn't mean that you shove it down. It doesn't mean that you don't acknowledge how you feel, but it means that you understand that you have the capacity to decide what's going on with you, to tune in and see where you are emotionally, physically, to let that energy move through you, to clear and to reset yourself. So, reset your energetic protection, reset your energy through conscious awareness into conscious alignment. Psychic protection, it's not that big of a deal, but it is incredibly important. And the habits that we get into from the very beginning, when we start to meditate, when we start to tune into frequencies and energy, is really important that we have good habits from the very beginning. Also, being consciously aware, having energetic protection, it fortifies us, it fortifies our energy, it strengthens our energy. And it makes us resilient. It makes us emotionally resilient, makes us physically resilient. It balances us because we have the fortification to deal with life. When we work with the energetic arts, we're not trying to move away from life or ignore life or just go on to a place where we're never disturbed. We are finding peace. We are finding balance. But through that, we still need to deal with life. We're here. We've chosen to be here. And things come up in life. Lots of things come up in life. Lots of things that are not fun. Lots of things that we don't like. And it's how we deal with those things that affects our vitality, that affects our energy levels. And so I want to make sure that we understand that this is not just, I said it once and I go about my life and, oh, look, see, that didn't work and I failed. It's not like that at all. The energetic arts are meant to be done throughout your day. They're a way of living. So for today, what's most important for us to learn here is that psychic protection is conscious awareness, that psychic defense is also conscious awareness, and that both of those things come from aligning your energy, being extremely clear with your intent, and being able to tap in, tune into your essence and expand your own vibration so you stay in alignment with that highest frequency intent that you can. Let me know in the comments on YouTube, what do you think about psychic protection? What do you think about psychic defense? Is this something that you've ever thought about? Is this something that you practice? Share your insights, ask your questions. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for tuning in today. And I wish you a beautiful week. I will see you in the next episode.